Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open a really interesting document, a blueprint for what it calls a global transformation training. But here's the thing, this isn't just about some online course. According to this material, this event is designed to be a truly pivotal moment in human history.
Okay, let's just start with that. This is the central, and you gotta admit, incredibly bold claim of the whole document. It sets the stage right away. We're not just talking about professional development here. They're framing this as a fundamental reset for everyone.
So, who's the person leading this charge? The document points directly to founder Ash Mufareh, and the language they use here is so specific. This is consistently presented not as some simple webinar, but as a historic, world-changing masterclass designed to shift global consciousness. Now, before we even get to the tools or the tech, the source argues that there's a really crucial first step, and that's adopting a very specific mindset. It's a philosophy that says your internal world, your mind, comes way before any external system. This taps into a powerful idea we see all over modern self-improvement. And this quote right here, this really gets to the absolute core of the philosophy they attribute to Ash Mufareh. This one sentence sums up the entire premise, that financial success isn't something you chase on the outside. Nope, it's the result of an internal transformation that has to happen first. So what does that mental shift actually look like? Well, the document lays out these specific pillars. It's all about understanding the psychology of success in our digital world, about attracting abundance through your own discipline, and leading in a way that's ethical. The whole goal is to shift people from being just consumers to becoming global creators. And here's where the technology part comes in. The document makes a really interesting point. AI by itself is just a tool. It's empty. The real power, it argues, is only unlocked when that AI is guided by human purpose, by our ethics, and by a vision for something bigger. Okay, so you've got the mindset, you've got the philosophy, but how do you actually put it into practice? Well, that's where this digital ecosystem comes in. The mindset is the foundation, but it's designed to work inside a very specific system that the document calls VictoryWithAsh. And this is so crucial to understand. This isn't being presented as just a product or a set of tools. The source material defines VictoryWithAsh as an entirely new economic model, a self-sustaining digital economy that it claims is built on fairness and transparency, a total revolution. And this training is supposed to get very practical, very hands-on. Participants, who they call founders, are going to learn the real nuts and bolts of how to operate in this ecosystem. Everything from using referral links and AI dashboards to truly understanding the automated reward system. Now, just when you think it's all about these practical tools for you, the individual, the narrative just zooms way out. The document starts to argue that the combined actions of all its users will create this massive ripple effect, one that leads to real, tangible change across the globe. This table here breaks it down so clearly. These are the 4 key areas they claim this training will totally transform. Economically, by creating a global network of independent entrepreneurs. Socially, by creating a new kind of unity. Technologically, by building a future where we trust AI. And even spiritually, by connecting success to service. As we get to the final section of the source material, you can feel the tone start to shift. It becomes this direct, very personal call to action. It's aimed right at its core audience, this group it keeps calling the founders of the movement. This is really the emotional climax of the whole document. It's a powerful message of validation, for all those people who've been part of this ecosystem from the very beginning. It's framing this training as the huge payoff for all their patience and their belief. So in the end, the whole training is about a fundamental shift in how you look at things. The focus is pulled away from the old ideas of competition and just what you can get for yourself. Instead, it's all about collaboration, about who you become in the process, and about creating a legacy together. And this is the final thought they leave you with. It's powerful. The document concludes by positioning this whole training not as an educational event, but as the spark, the ignition point for a global movement where, as it says, technology will finally start serving humanity. So, that leaves us with this final question to think about. This document we've just walked through, it frames a digital training program as a historic, world-changing event. It blends technology, entrepreneurship, and this deep sense of personal purpose, all into one grand vision. And the fact that a message like this even exists and that it resonates with people, that's fascinating. What does it all reveal about our modern search for meaning, for community, and for success in this incredibly digital world we all live in?
All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to unpack a pretty massive announcement for a global training event. And get this, it's being framed as a historic moment for all of humanity. So, we're going to break down the core message, those huge promises, and really look at the structure of this transformation event to see what's actually on the table. Let's do it. Wow. Okay, so right out of the gate, the announcement sets an incredibly high bar with a statement like that. I mean, we're not just talking about a simple product launch here. The language they're using, it's aiming for a fundamental global shift in how we think. This quote, it's really our first big clue about the sheer scale of ambition we're looking at. So, what is this thing really? Well, the source material is very clear. It's not a webinar. They call it a transformation event, like a masterclass that's designed to align all of us with intelligence, with automation, and this idea of abundance. Our job today is to really unpack what those big words actually mean in this specific context. All right, so that brings us to our first major theme, transformation. According to the source, this whole thing isn't about just learning a new skill. Nope, it's about a deep, foundational shift in your mindset. The argument they make is pretty straightforward. Before anything can change on the outside, something's got to change on the inside first.
And it seems the entire training is built on two core pillars. It's actually pretty simple. On one side, you've got the mind. That's all about personal development, psychology, your philosophy. And on the other side, you've got the system. This is the tech, the automation, the actual financial tools. Now, the key here is that they're not presented as separate things. They're two sides of the same coin. Think of it like this. The mindset is the software you need to run the system's hardware.
So let's tackle that first pillar, which they're calling the visionary's philosophy. And the source material is super clear on this. You have to master the mindset first. It's positioned as the absolute foundation for everything else that follows. And here's the heart of that philosophy, which the document attributes to Ash Mufareh. It's this core idea that wealth and success, they start in your mind. They're an internal state before they ever show up in your bank account. So the whole point of this part of the training is to shift people from just being a consumer in the digital world to becoming a creator.
So what does this training of the mind actually cover? Well, the source promises to reveal what it calls secrets on a few key topics. First, the psychology you need to really succeed in today's digital world. Then, how to attract abundance, not through get-rich-quick schemes, but through things like discipline and patience. And finally, how to build real influence without being manipulative, leading with integrity.
Okay, so once that philosophical foundation is in place, we move on to the second pillar, the system of abundance. This is really where the rubber meets the road, where all those abstract ideas about mindset connect with the actual tangible digital platform people are going to be using.
So this platform has a name, the VictoryWithAsh system. And the source material doesn't pull any punches. It calls it a digital revolution. The main idea here is that it merges automation, finance, and opportunity into one single thing. Basically what's described as a fair, transparent, and self-sustaining economy for everyone who's a part of it.
Okay, but how does it actually work? The training apparently breaks it down into 4 key areas. First up, you've got to learn the referral links. They're positioned as the real engine for your financial growth. Second, you learn to navigate the dashboards, which are full of AI-driven tools to automate the heavy lifting. Third, you're taught to embrace what they call abundance ethics, which is basically a business model where you succeed by helping other people succeed. And finally, the nitty-gritty, how to get your account activated and how the rewards are automatically distributed.
And this is where the whole narrative kind of zooms out. The announcement makes it clear that the impact of this training and the system isn't just about individual success, not at all. It's about a massive global effect that's meant to ripple out across entire societies. So, this global impact is broken down into 4 main arenas. As you can see, the biggest piece of the pie is economic, at 40%. Then you've got social and technological impact, both coming in at 25%, and there's even a spiritual component in there. So let's take a quick look at what each of these really means.
Okay, first up, the economic promise. This is a big one. The goal here is to use the system to create real, sustainable income for people. The vision is to build this massive global network of, and this is their term, financially independent digital entrepreneurs. It really suggests a huge shift away from the typical 9-to-5 job.
Next up is the social impact. The vision here is to create a new kind of global unity. It's built on the idea of collaboration and shared purpose. Something the source claims will cut across borders, race, religion, you name it.
The whole thing is centered on this idea of growing together.
Then we have the technological promise, and this is all about AI. The idea is to completely reframe our relationship with artificial intelligence. Instead of being afraid of it, the training is supposed to teach people how to partner with AI, to work alongside it in a future that they say will be built on trust.
And finally, that spiritual component we mentioned. This really ties everything together. It's about inspiring a deeper sense of purpose, of gratitude, and of service. The core message here is pretty powerful, that just making money, on its own, is ultimately meaningless. It has to be for something more.
So, after laying out the philosophy, the system, and this massive global impact, the announcement wraps up with a very direct call to action. This is the specific invitation they're giving to their followers, who the text calls founders.
In this quote, this really boils the whole message down to its essence. The focus is intentionally shifted away from what you're going to get, the material stuff, and put squarely on who you're going to become. And that personal transformation, well, that's what they're calling the real victory. So for anyone who wants to be a part of this, the instructions couldn't be simpler. It's boiled down to a 3-step task. 1, show up. 2, learn deeply. And 3, act decisively. It's a really direct call to action, It strips away all the complexity and puts the responsibility right on the participants' shoulders.
And that brings us to the ultimate promise, and it's a really interesting one. It draws a very clear line between just being successful and being significant. So the end goal they're presenting isn't just about making a lot of money. It's about creating a lasting, meaningful legacy.
So where does that leave us? As we've seen, this is a powerful mix of a technological system, really ambitious financial promises, and a deeply inspirational philosophy. In the end, it really feels like the material is asking its audience to embrace a vision of the future that's built on, well, a foundation of belief first and foremost. Which brings us to that final question on the screen.
All right, let's get into it. Today, we're taking a deep dive into something called VictoryWithAsh, which comes from Ash Mufaraheh. Now, this isn't just another online platform. It's pitched as a whole new way to build businesses and communities online using referral marketing and a whole lot of AI. So let's pull back the curtain and see what it's all about. So right off the bat, we get this really powerful idea. These links are not just codes or URLs, they are keys to destiny. Wow. So what they're saying is, these referral links, they're not just your average web address. They're framed as the main tool for the users, who, by the way, are called founders, to actually build out their networks, get into all the system's features, and, start unlocking those potential earnings. Okay, so let's start with the real engine behind all of this, the new referral link system. This is presented as a huge leap forward. The whole goal, to completely automate the process of bringing new people into the ecosystem and, maybe more importantly, holding their hand through those first crucial steps. And this really gets to the heart of the journey they want for their users. It's all about making that shift, from just waiting on the sidelines to actually winning, from having potential to seeing real performance. The idea is to get way beyond just signing people up. It's about a structured path that, ideally, leads to people becoming active, successful members of the system. All right, so what are these keys exactly? Let's take a look at the tools themselves. These referral links aren't just simple links. They come packed with features specifically designed to help the founders bring new people in and get them started on the right foot. Okay, so the power of these new links really comes down to 3 main things. First, they're designed with precision. This seems to be all about their ability to track everything really accurately. Second, they're built for security, which, makes sense. It's about preventing fraud or people messing with the links. And third, they're powered by intelligence. This is where the AI comes in, guiding new users. Put it all together, and the goal is pretty clear. Make the whole growth process as smooth and simple as possible for the founders. So, what does this look like in practice? Well, it's a pretty straightforward path. Step 1, a founder shares their unique link. Pretty simple. Step 2, someone clicks it, signs up, and they're immediately put into this AI-guided onboarding. Think of it like an automated training camp. And then, step 3, once they've gone through that, they're all set up in the system, ready to start participating and, earning. And this is a really key point they're making. It's a gateway to education. The idea is that no one gets left behind. You don't just sign up and then, good luck, figure it out yourself. Nope. New members are funneled directly into a learning environment filled with videos and tutorials. It's all designed to get everyone on the same page, understanding the products and how the whole reward system works right from day one. Okay, so we've talked about the tech, the how, but now let's shift gears and talk about the why. The platform is built on a mission of integrity, which is about more than just building a network. Let's dig into the core philosophy that's supposed to be driving this whole thing. And they lay out their guiding principles pretty clearly with this comparison. On one hand, they're saying, look, we are not about competition, just chasing numbers or exploitation. Instead, they're saying we are about unity, building real relationships and empowerment. So the whole focus is meant to be on collaboration, creating a community where success is shared, not just funneled to a few people at the top. And this all seems to stem from this core principle from the founder, Ash Mufareh. Do it right or don't do it at all. So how do they do it right? Well, the platform claims it's all about automation. By automating things, the goal is to create a system that's totally fair and transparent, where the same rules apply to absolutely everyone, with no room for manual meddling. And this isn't just about a simple tech upgrade. The vision here is huge. It's framed as a global awakening. The long-term goal they talk about goes way beyond just being a business. It's pitched as a mission to actually make a positive economic difference in communities all over the world, building something lasting and sustainable for everyone involved. Okay, so with that big mission in mind, let's talk about the rewards. How does this all translate into actual financial liberation for the founders? The system is designed to generate income automatically, and we're about to break down exactly how that's supposed to work. So where does the money come from? It's not just one thing. This reward ecosystem is fueled by a few different streams. You've got successful registrations, which seems to mean commissions. Then there are new activations, which sounds like bonuses. And finally, and this is a big one, a share of the revenue from people actually using the platform's products. It's a whole ripple effect. And how do you manage all this? That's where the O-Wallet system comes in. Think of it as your digital wallet, right inside the platform where all your earnings go. And because it's automated, the idea is that everyone gets paid out exactly according to the rules, fair and square, with no favoritism. All right, the system is in place, the tools are there, so what's next? This is where it all comes together. Your victory begins now. Let's look at what founders are actually supposed to do with all this to build their dream. So here's the mission, should you choose to accept it. It's broken down into 4 clear actions. You've got to share your link with purpose. You're meant to guide your new members. You're encouraged to inspire them with your own story. And finally, help them navigate the system. See, it's about so much more than just spamming a link. It's about mentorship. That's positioned as the real secret sauce to building a strong community that lasts. And this is the transformation they're talking about. The journey from being a dreamer to becoming an achiever. Moving from just being a follower to stepping up and becoming a leader. The whole narrative is about personal growth, suggesting that by being part of this, you can really evolve and become a leader in your own right. And it all culminates in this. This is the rallying cry for the whole community. We are founders. We are unified. We are victorious with Ash Mufareh. This really wraps up the entire identity they're trying to build. A group of unified founders, all pulling in the same direction towards a common victory. So, there you have it. When you boil it all down, Victory with Ash is presented as this complete ecosystem for building online networks. It's all built around these automated referral links, that AI-powered onboarding, and a really strong community mission. It's clear that this is just the beginning of their story, which leaves us with the final question they pose to everyone. What will your victory look like?